Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning, this is my son Ben, and today we have it's quite new, isn't it? Aberlour, 14 years of age, double cask. That's the specialty. It's whiskey made as it was made before the time of the finishing. You had different kinds of casks, and then you mixed them after maturation. After maturation in an artisanal manner to get a result you wanted to have. So these are whiskeys matured in ex-American bourbon barrels and Spanish oak barrels, and those together lead to this double cask malt.
Yeah, it's a bit older because Aberlour has a younger brother, the standard placed long established Aberlour 12-year-old double cask, and now we have the older brother, the 14-year-old double cask.
Yes, there are several movements inside the Aberlour brands over the last years. So over decades we only had the 10-year-old. Then they came out of the hidden gem status and they brought out a 15-year-old. And that 15-year-old was outstanding, and then they brought the 18-year-old, and then they no longer produced the 15-year-old, but they had a 16-year-old, and now they added a 12-year-old, and now they have a 14-year-old in between. So
the standard range is quite close together.
Quite huge, but with the different mixtures between sherry casks and ex-bourbon casks, you have different characters in between those. And you have a sequence of prices uprising, of course, and typically they stay with a 40% ABV because they are heading for the mass market.
Yes, so it's kind of similar to the 12, bit older.
Yeah,
we will see.
If you look at the taste, what they are writing on the back of the bottle, it tastes a little bit different. Probably that's...
And for us here in Germany, it's a little bit quite more expensive.
Yeah.
So they take 50. Around 50, which the other one is around
less than 40.
The 25, 30.
No,
the 12-year-old. It's around 30.
33, 34. Yeah.
Oh, that would be then, I would say, normal to increase it then to
for
52.
2 years, more than $10.
I think they did.
Yeah. What the specialty is with this is a batch number. If you look, switch over to the other camera, please. You see here we have a batch number 2. So there will be different batches according to the mixtures they have.
Is it really a standard edition?
So if there's a batch number on it, then they will have more different batches after each other.
So is this like another time of Abunak?
Yeah, probably with an age.
With an age?
And no cask strength.
But Aberlour is actually expanding. I think I had this in the news already. 2020, they announced that they would have a new, but they would increase their production. They would, rearrange their equipment and build something new, build something more. And we will see. So that is quite good, because if you increase the production, the supply goes up, and that means prices will not rise so steeply, or even might fall.
You're kidding. So that's a very, very pleasant nose. Do I get a close-up, please? Yeah. A very, very pleasant nose, but it is fresher than expected. These ripe sherries. So not sherry wine, but sherry fruit. They give it a very interesting, light, fruity character on the nose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very fresh, fruity berries, cherries smell. It's very very fresh and very sweet. So yeah, cherries is the charitable way of saying it. If you'd be a bit more mean to the whiskey, you would say a little bit gummy bears. But I like the smell of gummy bears. I really do. It's a wonderful dram, yeah.
I'm sober with the gummy bears now.
No gummy bears for you?
No more gummy bears for me. No.
Okay.
So, cheers.
Cheers.
Well, it's 9:30 a.m. and this is a little hefty in the morning, where your tasting buds are still very much alive over the hours of the day and the meal you have, the lunch you have. Your tasting buds are getting used and they reduce their sensibility a little bit over the time. And this, in the morning, is the time when all the blend masters in Scotland taste their whiskies. And this one was incredible intense for a 40% one. And I had a definite intense oaky character in it. Wow, massive.
For me, it's very, very sweet. With the cherries in there, a little bit of a gummy bear touch there, a little bit of a marmalade touch. So it's really yummy, sweet berries, cherries, fruitiness going on there. But it's wonderful that it's I think it's missing that citrus note. It's not sour at all. That's the beauty about it. It's a very not sour whiskey and very round, little bit of oak touch just to round it off, just to give it a bit of volume.
For me, it's a little bit more than
just
a
okay.
touch. Yes.
For me, it's just the smidge that you have that feeling of volume, that flavor of that you'd recognize as a whiskey.
It definitely has a impact on my tongue with the oak. There's a little ginger in it, a little spiciness on the tongue.
Oh yeah, yes. Now with the second one, it's a bit more on the oak, a bit more on the spicy touch. I like it. I like it. It's as easy and beginner friendly as the 12-year-old, but I would say it's a little bit more intense and a little bit more, has a little bit more kick to it, a little bit more spice, a little bit more fruitiness.
If I would guess, I would say the 12-year-old has the typical American oak ex-sherry casks, and the 14-year-old has a mixture of more European oak, Spanish oak sherry casks. So this is definitely a more oaky character, spicier whiskey than the 12-year-old with his lingering sweet character.
I would still recommend it for beginners though.
Yeah.
It's beginner friendly. 40%, lots of sweet, lots of fruitiness.
And with the time there's vanilla caramel coming through.
So yeah, the thing is now third sip, yes, definitely it has more influence. I would also say it has more sherry influence than the 12-year-old. It has, for me, more fruity, a bit more European character. But that European character doesn't come with the first sip. It comes more with the second and third sip. That just builds up. I would say, yeah, well-rounded, well-deserved 14-year-old for Aberlour. My only critique for that would be it's a bit close to the 12-year-old. So it's not similar. It's not like, oh, this is kind of the same bottle, but it has similarities, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's a little bit more different. It's it's worth the amount of money you pay more for. So if the other is slightly below 40 and this one is slightly above 50, you have more than 10 euros in between for only 2 years, but you get definitely more oakiness for it. So therefore, I think the money is well spent.
It's a bit more interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that was it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.